So I am here. I got in late Thursday night, and I'm not gonna lie, it hasn't really hit me yet. I know that I'm just getting my life and everything set up, but I think the only thing I really can do right now is just enjoy my time. Like, this is completely different for me. Like, I've never ever done a move like this, and I know it's gonna feel like I'm on vacation for a hot second, but I think the biggest thing right now that I'm like trying to calm myself in is like do what you can do now while you're waiting for your license to get transferred over here, and then you can find a salon job or get a different job. But I've literally never done this before in my life, and I'm not gonna lie, I am nervous a little bit because I've always wanted this, and I took a leap of faith and was like, you know what, this opportunity isn't going to come back around for a long time. And I wanted to do it now because I want to build something different. I want to do something different, and I want to be as authentic as possible, but also my big fear is being seen. And because my fear of being seen is so great, like, I've hidden myself for a long time. And so I knew that I wasn't really going to be able to do what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it in the town that I was in, because I felt like I was in a box for so long. I felt like I was in a box for so long of like, she's a hairdresser, she's a trauma stylist, she's this, she's that, she only does textured hair. I didn't want any of that label any longer. And I just didn't know how to step out of it until I got out of a bad relationship. And every time I've gotten out of a relationship, I'm like, I'm gonna move to Arizona. I've said that for a long time. And I did. And I did. And I'm sitting here like editing the blog, and I'm sitting here like getting ready to like bring my candle stuff into the new like creation studio that I'm gonna use. And I am like, you did it. You did it, like, you moved. Now what? You've said you're gonna do all of these things. And I think that's what I'm overwhelmed in. And so tomorrow, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna follow up on my licensing stuff to have it as a fallback. That's a plan, because I know that I'm always gonna be able to make that work. But I can make shit shake. I can make some shit shake. Like, this is my time to really step out and see what I can do. And I get like kind of overwhelmed because I moved to like one of the biggest fucking cities. Like, what a jump. But I've only been here for 3 days. And I can tell that my spirit is like really like fighting, staying calm. Like, I'm like, okay, let's go do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always trying to get ahead of myself, and I'm trying to stay present and get my life set up how I want it to be. I really don't have to be doing shit for a few weeks if I don't want to. And I've even said, like, I will drive Lyft and I will figure it out if I don't get my license right away, which I know that I will, but I don't know if I want to be behind the chair anymore. And I know that having my license is like kind of a fallback, but I really want to be able to speak on like adoption stuff and how that affects the spirit. And I really want to be able to talk about how I like wonder if I took a picture at that moment in time, but I really want to talk about that. I want to talk about just life and how this move is going to like force me to grow spiritually in ways that I've always wanted to grow. I want to be a blogger and a vlogger, and I want to have a podcast, and I want to have my candle company and my wax melt company go with all of that. Like, that's why I created this whole brand, The Collective One, because there isn't anything that isn't going to relate to somebody, like, this is a collective that we're joining. And so, like, I really need to be intentional with this time and spend minimal money but make shit shake. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can clean some things off. I can set my workspace up in the dining room. I can set whatever it is that I need up to work for me in a way that is going to allow me to live the life that I want while also maybe having to have a part time job, driving for Lyft, driving DoorDash, getting to know the city, driving. I'm not going to do DoorDash, but I will do Lyft. Um, you know, things of that nature. Because, or going back to work at Sephora, because I loved that, but, or working at a fucking Sport Clips or whatever, like 3 or 4 days a week just to bring money in while I'm really heavily focusing on this and editing and getting my platform together and like my blog and my candle stuff and my little apothecary of things that I want, and how I healed myself from having anxiety attacks and creating myself a whole menopause situation. Like, I need to really focus this time as I'm getting myself grounded and situated on really setting myself up for success. And I'm really having to redefine what that even looks like to me. Like, I feel like coming out of that reality of I don't need to have $1 million, even though it would be nice, but I don't need to be a quadrillionaire, like, I will be the first very wealthy person in my family, but what does that look like to me? Is it monetary? Is it spiritually? Is it emotionally? Is it intellectually? Like, what does that success look like? This, to like myself, should feel like success because I made a big journey. First of all, I drove 3 days by myself to get here. I have never done anything like that before in my life. Like, never, ever, ever, forever, ever thought I was going to do this by myself. And I had this in my spirit. Well, I mean, I knew I was going to in my spirit, but like, there's a big fear level that I had because I knew that when I moved, I wasn't going to be doing the same shit that I was before. And that freaked me out because I knew that there was a level of consistency and dedication and discipline that I had to have in order to make my dreams and my lifestyle a reality. And it wasn't going to be in the way that everyone fucking thought. And so now here I am on day 3. Like, I literally got in it's Sunday today. So I got in on Thursday night. So I slept Thursday, obviously, into Friday. So I've had Friday, Saturday, and today is Sunday. Yesterday, I had a really delicious breakfast. No, that was Friday. Yesterday morning, I didn't have breakfast. I just had coffee. Today, I'm going to have a smoothie. And I'm starting to acclimate a little bit. But I still don't have furniture. There's so many things that I want to establish before I fall back into, like, I have a few $1,000s saved. Like, this is a time in my life where I can actually, like, enjoy my time. And I find myself bullying myself. Let me just say that. I find myself bullying myself into doing better. Having more. Like, bringing more income in. When the food in the fridge is full. There's coffee and there's other things. I have a roommate that's now, like, she knows that I'm getting situated. And so I actually can, like, really forge my time and take the product photos that I want to take and do the blog posts and get those all set up again and have those ready to go, because I would really like to have a system going where my brand, who I am, was built out of me taking this big giant leap of faith, because fuck it. Life is short. Life is short. But it's also long if you make it. And joy is fleeting. And I knew that this was going to be really terrifying, because it is. But I'm trying to find the peace in that. I'm trying to find how I can set myself up, because again, this is why I did it, was to see what I could be made out of. What am I going to do? Continue to invest in myself. So even though I'm in a whole new location, I'm surviving off of a few $1,000s, like, That's more than what a lot of people have available to them. And because of that, I have to be very strategic. So I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to bet on myself. I'm not going to deprive myself of my lifestyle, because I know that the more consistent I am at pushing my product, the more sales I'm going to get, the more followers I'm going to get, the more I'm recording my process and what I'm going through as I'm transitioning from living in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. You guys, I drove from Sioux Falls, South Dakota to Mesa, Arizona. Okay? And I know, like, that's a people move to bigger cities all the time. Absolutely. But this is my first time ever doing it by myself. I didn't have anyone help transition me. My roommate and my friend, who I'm living with and landing with for a while until I get on my feet, is like, and we have a plan. Like, we like actively talked about a plan of like what my plan of action is when I'm here. Like, I'm normally gonna hit the ground running, but this time God said, be still, my child. And I have found it is very difficult for me to be still, because I am so used to surviving. And I'm moving here for a lifestyle change. I'm moving here to help regulate myself. I'm moving here to recenter what I find important. I'm moving here to rebuild my life, to start over again, to do something completely different. And no one knows me here, and that's also overwhelming. I'm waiting for my license to get transferred over so I can do hair, which is also overwhelming. I have a car note that I still have to pay that's coming up this coming month, and that's something that's overwhelming, because that's going to come out of what I have right now, which makes what I actually have less, which also frightens me, because all of the things. But the reality is that I have 1 month. Actually, I have a month and a few days until November to come up with the next plan. And that is so much time for me to set myself up successfully that I don't even need to worry about it. But because I'm coming out of an old reality and I'm stepping into a new one, that is a whole new timeline shift that I'm trying to be present for. So what can I do? I can update my website and make it exactly how I want. I can continue to record and put content up and be as real as I fucking want to, and build my platform as best as I possibly can in 1 month. Okay? There's things that I can do. You know what I mean? There's things I can do. So as I'm acclimating and I'm grounding into the energy and I'm getting myself situated here, follow along. Like, this is the most vulnerable period of my life that I've ever been in, and I'm quite literally out here in one of the biggest cities, a suburb of one of the biggest cities of Phoenix, Arizona, a place where I've always wanted to move to. I've always wanted to move here, and I finally did it. So now what am I going to build? And I know it's going to be great. I just have to be willing to be proactive and disciplined and being consistent with how I'm creating and what I am building and where everything is going. So do the things, like turn your notifications on for when I make another video, because let me tell you, I have X amount of time before I go back into the workforce to bring some income in, obviously to keep a roof over my head. So the content is going to be, strategic, and it might not even be in order, because I have a lot of shit that I'm going through. No, ma'am. So that's all I have to say. I'm going to get back to getting these vlogs together today. I can do that. I was going to go out into the pool today and do that. So yeah, I think it's going to be great. It's going to be great. And I'm going to do it. So today's vlog and re-photograph some of the candles, because I have a new background and a new backdrop now. yep, it's gonna happen.